is happening right now.
5, 4, 3, 2.
We're, we're live.
It
Okay,
says live,
great.
yeah.
It says setting up on my screen. Oh, and then it always pops up YouTube video, and then I get double audio. Yep, there it is.
We are live.
I
I'm
closed
sure
it.
of it. Mel, everybody. We are live. I'm just gonna pose. We are live with
We are live. We still need that stinger from you. A really nice stinger opening for the show.
yeah, I don't know. I've been lazy. It's hard to record, something like that when my wife's around.
Oh no, I get it. I get it.
Because I do have some like shame, but not enough to like not broadcast it after I make it. So
Let me just do the we're live now. We're live now.
alrighty. I also copied the link over. So yeah, we can I see Matt had yeah, we're live. We're with the great Matt's B. We are with the Tesla tracker, and I am Cantonese Mel. So I see
Yay.
that Matt has his NVIDIA chart being pulled up. There's been a lot of extreme volatility, not really considering it's
No.
NVIDIA, but there's a lot of volatility. And we just wanted to look at what the support level, resistance levels, what Matt thinks, what tracker thinks, and go for it, man.
Yeah, so I have the linear scale chart pulled up first as usual, and I was hoping it would get down to maybe the 110 zone, 108, 110, around there, just for a nice bounce off that 45 into this zone, or maybe even lower, but so far it did not do that. It just immediately bounced off that like 118 zone, and now it's just going higher. And I think I see the reason why when I go to the log scale chart here. And the reason why is looking like that level right there that I was talking about, really the 120 level. I believe I mentioned that. What was it, last week?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, so on log scale, it's looking like this level was trying to flip to support, and I think that's why I got a bid a lot faster than it didn't even take time to go down to that 110 level. So as long as this
Nice.
level holds, it looks like it could still run up to maybe the 200s in the future, like 220, 260, whatever, right? But if that breaks down, then there's a possibility of maybe going lower to the lower 100s, but that's still not even a bearish scenario because when you put on like the Ichimoku, you can see that the conversion line still sits at 107. Even the baseline sits at 90, right? So like there still could be room to go down and test levels and then continue up as well, right? So I would not really be bearish on this stock at all still. There's still a lot of momentum to the upside, and right today was kind of proof of that. So
And just doing my little charting thing. I can share it real quick.
yeah.
Please do, please do. Tracker, tracker, tracker.
Let's see. Let's clean this up a little bit. Yeah. Basically, I never thought that it was going to go any lower than this 23.6% fib at 116.80. It got just a little bit below it. And then I said, well, all right, if it's going to be a retrace, it'll do 382 first, then 236. And I said, if it gets below, you know, this 116.80, much lower, then worry about it. But otherwise, I think that's it. I think that's support. And sure enough, it was. And my next, I'm doing like a 1, 2 up here. My next, this looks like it kind of got wonkified, but 163.64 is my next target. So I think we'll just do like 5 mini waves up, 163.64, a little test back to 150.75, and then top out about just under 200. Maybe it'll even touch 200. I don't know, or maybe they'll just sell it off just before it hits 200. We'll get a little tiny ABC retrace. We'll get support higher than the wave 3 top, and we'll just keep going again. And you guys have seen me with this thing, right?
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
goes ballistic. I think
yeah,
it could see 400. I think it'll see 400 before we get any real pullback.
yeah.
That's my prediction for, this is what it's going to take to power the artificial general intelligence quest. And then actually, you know what? I think it's AGI is here, and then artificial super intelligence is up here. That's what I'm thinking. Because remember, the more compute power, the more they want to get out of it, they have to put in 10 times as much compute power to get just 10% more out of what they want. Anyway, that's my. I'll stop sharing and let Matt go back
Well,
to.
I guess I'll share real quick. I just want to
Okay,
reassure
Matt.
people real quick on the bull in Japan. I keep going to the monthly bull in Japan. I still think that the cycle that started around October 2022 all the way up to now is very, very similar to the cycle from like 2015 all the way to maybe 2018 or so. Just look at like there was a lot of similarity between the two. Just look at how the bull in Japan has like completely expanded for the cycle over here. And when the low bull in Japan is like all the way down, like there's really not any sign for any trend exhaustion. Right now, like just look at how like impressive the trend is. Like it's like right now you have like 2 months like still way outside of upper Bollinger Band. It's probably gonna end up closing month of June over the upper Bollinger Band here as well. And the lower Bollinger Band is still like all the way down. Like it's still expanding, right? So what happened last time when it continued to expand, like over here, like we might be talking about like over here. So I still think that eventually the trend's going to end up exhausting. Like all this stuff up here is probably on like bearish divergence, but price can keep going up on bearish divergence for a very, very long time. You just pull up the RSI, like you can see like all that stuff up here, price goes up, RSI goes down. Like all that stuff over here is on bearish divergence, but it doesn't matter because the trend is not yet exhausted. Not until the Bollinger Band comes pulling back up, and that's when you really need to kind of start worrying about trend exhaustion. We're nowhere near that. So it could continue to just keep going up. You're showing the linear chart, I'm showing the log chart. The linear chart is going to be like parabolic up like that. My log chart is kind of going to be like a little bit more more linear looking and maybe even a
Yes.
little bit sloping down a little bit, maybe even get to 400. I think it's entirely possible. So, and look at like how the previous cycle with like RSI being overbought in like the 80s and 90s for like years, And we just started doing that maybe like about a year ago, So yeah, there's a potential for it to go a lot higher, and I'm not really seeing any exhaustions, and there's also a lot of doubters. So I think all these are positive. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
That's impressive. Literally looks like a Roman aqueduct.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
like the arcs. We are the triumvirate. Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay,
right.
so Coinbase now, or we still want to go back to NVIDIA?
Yeah, this
Nah,
is good.
let's do Coinbase.
Okay. So yeah, I wanted to do this earlier on in the week, but before things started to go up again. But if we look here on linear scale and we combine the Ichimoku with that, we can see that I was kind of hoping it would come back down to the baseline first, but it never got down to the lower 200s. It just started to rebound there. But the biggest thing you can see now is that it has been stuck under this 45 now. It was support here, but then it flipped it kind of back to resistance. So it does have a ways to go before it comes back and test that again. But basically in this zone looks like a really good buy zone, and sure enough it did hold. And again, once we go to log scale, it kind of shows the reason why it didn't really go any lower, and this is the reason why right here, that blue level. Right, the blue level did hit perfectly, and it wicked through just a little bit. I was thinking maybe it would go touch the arc again, but it never did. So essentially that was the buy zone, and sure enough, things look like it might be going up towards this angle again, which is kind of like a resistance now. I mean, it has been oscillating back and forth with that angle, so it's not really that important to be above or below. But the biggest thing to note here is this blue level, I believe. Once this is confirmed as a support, then things should go up to the next level, and that next level would be around 550, right up there. So that's what I got for Coinbase.
What about the level after that?
Level after that, you don't even want to know, guys. 1400.
Nice,
And then the level after that is 3600. So, yeah.
nice, nice.
Without showing my chart, Matt, can you do one thing for me? Pull up the Bollinger Band for the weekly.
Yeah, for the weekly.
Yeah, you're gonna like it.
Yeah,
Look at
it looks really good. Squeezing
that.
the sphincter, right? Yeah.
It's the sphincter squeezing, which means that whenever it releases, it's gonna be like, pretty powerful. Yeah.
But the only thing, it's actually below the 20 now, which it
It
hadn't
is,
really been
but also pull up the
for a
bull
long
market
time.
support band, then you see if you do like I don't know if you have it, but it's
I don't think I have it on this screen.
yeah, but
No.
if you pull up there's a bull market support band which is like 20-week SMA and 21-week EMA. So
Yeah.
if you look, it's like right smack in the middle.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
so it's actually looking just like what Bitcoin is doing. It's like the exact same chart as Bitcoin, but it's actually looking pretty decent. So, yeah.
nice. Yeah, I mean, just holding this blue level and being the way the Bollinger Band looks and the Ichimoku, everything combined just looks like it's not going to stay down in these lower levels for too much longer.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks super nice. So
Where's wait, just on your
Yeah.
chart real quick. Point about
Yeah.
$370 in your chart.
370,
Maybe if we
like
just follow
in
the
the
green
future.
line up.
Right. 370, like right here.
Yep, 379. Well, $10 more.
okay.
379 would
That's
be,
my next target.
Okay. Yeah.
So
okay.
if I
Yeah.
go ahead and bring up, whoops,
Could be the art there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
let's see, here we go. Share my screen. All right. So yeah,
Ooh.
this is my Coinbase chart, and it's doing a tracker's triangle here, where you can actually see if I put my little, oops, where my screen's acting up. Go away. There we go. I just want this triangle tool. You can kind of see it right here. There, 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 and it's just about ready to break out. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it exits. And my target is the 3618 for 369.49. And then a little ABC down, and then that makes the 1, 2, and then we keep going up. That's all I got to say for Coinbase.
I mean, my 401 is exactly where that angle and that bottom arc meet. So that's a confluence right there.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I
it's
figured.
exactly like 401.
Be really, really, really pretty. Oh, the 400%.
Yeah, 401. Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
You got a chart there, chat?
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, I can show this. This is a 2-week chart of the Ichimoku cloud. Look at it.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Like it like
Wow.
back tested the top of the cloud after like it's actually like if you look at the volume, like big volume breakout to the top of the cloud, back test, on low volume, it looks like it just wanted to bounce. And before it bounces, I guess it just wanted to back test here on the rising conversion line. It's currently a little bit below, but the 2-week chart is not over yet, so you have another 3 trading days, so probably end up going to close back above. And this is like a very, very beautiful look to it. It's a pretty bullish kind of thing. You don't really see that on the weekly. On the weekly, still looks like it might be a little bit stuck in a range. But I like this like hammer looking kind of thing, on the weekly. On the monthly, it just looks like, it's just way above the conversion here. But the thing about if you look at the Super Ichi cloud, which is like a variation of, the Ichigo cloud, but it takes into account like the super trend, it moves faster. So it's like the conversion line is actually like right around here. It's serving as pretty good support. It's just range bound for like 4 months, right? So a lot of it's just like the Bollinger Band is squeezing, this finger squeezing. I think like a big move might be coming soon. And it's just been consolidating on declining volume here on the monthly. So I think something good is probably going to happen. That's all.
You can
Nice.
show your bull market support since I didn't show
Oh
mine.
yeah. Let me
Yeah.
show. It's real quick. Like if you look at the Bollinger Band squeeze, but you put the superimpose the Bollinger support band, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like hammered wick underneath and then it found liquidity, bounced back up. Right now it's just stuck inside the boomerang support band. This looks just like Bitcoin, by the way. And we can talk about Bitcoin here a little bit too. This looks just like Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
So
if you want to start off in Bitcoin, you can do that.
yeah, I mean I don't have much. Like honestly, it looks like it's the same thing as squeezing and it's inside the boomerang support band, found support. And it's looking nice. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I don't have a whole lot more. It's been having it's been trying to work out on the weekly here on like how RSI is like almost up to like 90. It's just way overheated, and this whole sideways for like 4 months kind of thing is completely expected. So right now you have like multiple hammer candles, over here during these 2 months. And over here, it looks like we might be developing another hammer candle over here, finding a lot of, support, a lot of demand underneath here below 60,000. So all these things are very bullish development. And again, you have a bullish and squeeze over here. So something good's probably going to happen. If you look at the monthly, it looks just like Coinbase actually. Like, if I compare like Coinbase, it's just like the Bollinger Band is expanding on a monthly, but it's not quite ready yet. Like it got rejected from the upper Bollinger Band, but it's just been because it's been going sideways. And the same thing's happening with Bitcoin, where it's just like it's the same chart. It's the same chart, So
And
yeah,
I
it's
can show you.
crawling. Yeah, it's crawling. It is making ready to make the next move, and this is Bitcoin. I don't think it's top one reason why is because if you go back to like a long history of what Bitcoin does, is it hits this RSI trend line over here all the way. I've shown you guys this before. I can't draw it right because there's a label there, but it's basically got like a RSI trend line that dates all the way back to like prehistoric history. Roughly, right? Roughly, right? So, like, yeah, I mean, like, we don't even have the Bollinger Band expansion, that normally comes with like a parabolic bull trend. I don't think we're really kicking off yet. Like, the whales didn't just accumulate over here for like a year and a half and just end the cycle here. Like, there's very little possibility for me to think that that's the case.
Yeah,
And things
exactly.
really things haven't really like been overheated or anything. So I'm done talking about Bitcoin. So let me
Well, let me
stop
show you my
sharing.
Bitcoin, and I can show you why I think I did this one last time too. Show you why we're sort of consolidating still and going sideways. It's another tracker triangle. It's another
It's
tracker triangle.
it was on your shirt or your rope that I drew of
I
you.
know. I love that the drawing of you was brilliant today. So yeah, it goes up. So there's one move, two, three, and eventually this becomes four, and the fifth move goes out. Because what happens is when uh, these 2 points set up a trend, and then right here it breaks the trend, which then also causes it makes a new trend line, and then so this doesn't touch anymore, and then it runs down to the support side, and it breaks this trend line, which then brings this down farther, and so then this actually becomes the actual 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exits. So that's why it just comes out to 5 moves and it exits the triangle finally. And yeah, that's my tracker's triangle. And so I think it's gonna so far just where it's hit. I mean, you've got two top support or two top resistance trends set and the support trend set. So it really looks like it's going to be kind of the symmetrical triangle until we get the double tap on this side, double tap down here, and the exit. So it's just a matter of like how long will it take? Kind of looks like it could do that, and then something a little tighter. So, maybe we'll be breaking out in October. October surprise. Who knows? It's hard for me to do the timing with these. They're not magical like Matsby's Gann charts. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing now. If you guys have the next thing in the queue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, you want to share your Bitcoin chart? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say it goes to 110,000. Is my one
Uh,
three.
that's a cycle for you, tracker, 110,000.
That's the 1386.
The 1 3. Okay, okay. I was gonna say I didn't think that you would think. Okay, go for it.
I'm sorry, 1382. So
Yeah,
that's just like that's the wave three.
yeah. The only thing I have, I mean, like obviously Bollinger Band can squeezing, tighter and tighter through October. That's entirely possible. It ends up doing that. That's like a very, very powerful move. Looking at the Bollinger Band, it might end up moving faster than that. So I don't know. It's always hard to time these things. So
Yeah, so essentially I've been sharing this chart a lot, and I wrote this on X the other day, or earlier today, I guess. And essentially we can see the cycle. This orange line was the top, and now we can see it's trying to flip it to resistance right here.
Hmm.
And essentially, I was saying this line like 61,000. It's more like 61,300, or 61,300. And essentially, if this can hold, then I can see things just building a base to continue higher and higher. But just like we saw right here, that things didn't really get rejected immediately. So it could happen the same way down, right? Things could come down and not get support easily too. And if and if we add on the Ichimoku, sorry, we're both having voice problems here. And if we look at the Ichimoku, we can see that the baseline does sit down here around 56,000, right? So if this ever does get lost, then I can see this getting tested, which would be probably the support needed. And essentially, if I put on the Fibonacci from that swing high to the low, it kind of almost matches up with the 7862, like a wick below that as well, right? It is a little bit losing the 886 right now, so it might be just in a really tight range between this orange line and the 886 until like a direction is chosen, either break back above it or break below it to go test the 786 or the conversion line below. So we're not out of the woods yet. Like this still is holding. No problem. It still is holding, but there's a possibility for it to break and continue lower to test the lower levels before it breaks out, just like we saw in the past where it broke the higher levels before collapsing, right? So the same thing could happen here as well. And one thing I want to show is on the log scale chart as well. So I did make a video about this, how I've shown this chart many times, how it's flipped the top arc to support with that confirmation wick down there. So the next level would be 175,000. But I did share a new one that is possibly 2 million, right? So that's this one right here. Yeah. But we can see how symmetrical. Yeah, this is more of an extended cycle, right? But we can see how symmetrical it really has been, right? With like the orange level getting back tested, then the arcs, then the blue level hit, then getting back tested right there. And now we're currently at the green level here. And so this is actually more confluence that if this level gets lost, then it'll go retest the arc, which is kind of like in the lower 50s, like maybe 52,000 or so, or 51,000. So no matter what, like this zone, whether it's low 50s or high or low 60s, this is probably the accumulation zone for the next impulse move higher. And there's really no difference, in my opinion, for the long run if you buy here or down here. It's just really, really looking bullish, this chart. And the next level does lead us to that like 1.9 to 2 million mark at the next level up here.
Wow.
So that would be possibly, if we extend it out in the future, like 2033, right? I'm not saying it's going to go shoot up there immediately, but you can see like this extended cycle, the market top was pretty close to the orange line, right? So if we do the same thing, then maybe around this zone here could be sometime in 2033, could be 2 million per Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of saying the same thing.
It's not impossible, even though like everything kind of goes in cycles, but it's not impossible because you think about like gold after the ETF came out, it really went on a super cycle for a very long time, and it just gone like way further than anybody would ever imagine. So I can imagine like the liquidity coming into Bitcoin, and it's I can see that, but it might, like you said, it might take like eight years. So yeah.
So we'll see. Nobody knows really the exact time, but the charts, no matter what chart you use, whether you expand it or contract it, it's looking bullish, right?
Yeah.
So nothing really bearish about any of these charts, and especially like looking like it's building a base on top of the previous all-time high zone. Like, how is that bearish? In my opinion, it's not at all.
It's not. Yeah. I want to share a screen whenever you can. I just want to back you up around the 56,000 zone.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Are you sure you're done? Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, like I previously you finished. Okay. I previously talked about the 2-day Ichimoku cloud, right? And like how really throughout the entire like bear market back here has served as like some pretty sick resistance, over here. And then it's like pretty decent resistance over here. I don't know whether or not it's like the algorithm with like catching like a 2-day Ichimoku cloud. I don't know what's going on, but
Oh,
resistance right there, support right there, and then back test the bottom of the cloud over here as support,
that is
right?
crazy. I mean,
And
I
then
know you
like
showed
yeah, and
stuff
then like
before.
and it went underneath, and then back tested that, got rejected right there on the dot, right? And then it got rejected twice over here before it broke through a belt, right? And then next it got really close to it over here, didn't really touch it. Over here, bounce, bounce. And then initially I was thinking, hey, could it find support over here? Maybe. Did end up broken down. Where's the level down here? 56,000, you know. The bottom of the
Yeah,
two.
that's more confluence of
Yeah,
56,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure the 2-day Shimoda cloud means anything, but it looks like it might on the algorithm. I don't, it's just weird. But anyway,
It's
um,
wild.
yeah. And you also have a lot of like bullish diversions that are building up too, like basically price have gone up all the way from like 40,000 all the way up to like 60,000. And the RSI has just been kind of, resetting down. So you can see that on a lower time frame, yeah, but I'm done talking about Bitcoin. So yeah.
Well, what's next? Are we doing some miners now or what?
We can. Before we do that, do you want to talk about like, do you have anything updated for like GME? It's been kind of boring, but I wonder,
Oh yeah, GM, yeah.
yeah, whether or not
Yeah.
we're getting to an area where there could be some volatility there coming soon.
While
Um,
Matt's getting GME ready, I just want to mention to everyone out there, all three of us, we post all these charts on X, and Matt's got really lovely videos and stuff. So any of the stuff that you see in the show, you can also want to see these charts like in still life. Just go to any of our X accounts here around. You can use that search function. It's really good. Type in one of our handles and then a space and then the chart of your choice and see what comes up. And then sort
ooh,
by
Yeah,
most recent.
interesting. Interesting, buddy.
I actually had somebody comment about this on one of my posts about GME if it's still symmetrical, and I just looked at it, I'm like, well, yeah, it's at support. And that was like when it was still red during the day too. It's like right here.
Interesting.
And basically it just hit that angle and it started to bounce, right? So it's looking like this angle really wants to hold as support and wants to go higher. So yeah, I mean, it's still maintaining the market symmetry basically perfectly from when I called out the top right here to said buy, don't buy resistance, buy support. And sure enough, this was the place to buy. And now it's looking like it could start trending up back towards the 40s and 50s or even 60s and back into this resistance zone. But yeah, if this angle does get lost, then watch out below because there could get down to the 15s or even like the 14s or 13s, right? So gonna be paying attention to that a lot. And does the Ichimoku really have
It
something
does have
there?
support underneath. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You still have like 20 as support down underneath. So
Yeah, the cloud is right there in
yeah,
at 20. But yeah, the conversion and baseline are basically the same price almost. Yeah,
yeah.
up here. Yeah, so yeah, there is still room to go further, but so far the symmetry of this angle is holding really, really nicely. So that's all I got. But yeah, I'm just watching this. If that breaks, then watch out below. If that holds, then it's probably going to go up to the 50s, 60s again.
It's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing.
How well it works, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll share my GME chart real quick here, and it's just it's my one trick, right? I'm the one trick pony. I do the, the Fibonacci pinball, and based off of see, I pull a low down here around 995 to the that after hours high that we hit just under 80 or at 80, and then back to support at 1770. That people keep asking me like every other day, like, you have a new GME chart? It's done this. Can you update your GME chart? It's exactly the same. As
Yeah.
long as we don't go lower than 1770, and all of this remains the same. And I'm looking for on this larger degree with 995 as a support as the start of the wave one to $72. Then see it would build a base at 44.46, and then wave three would extend up to 114.51. And then if wave four can hold and build a base around 87.75, then we could see the 2382 at 184.56. And then I don't know what happens after that. Maybe we get an
Yeah.
ABC down
Five
and
500.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, right? Whatever Matt's got.
Yeah, Matt, do you have
Well,
a higher target, like in case if things go crazy, like, you know?
Oh, for a GME?
Yeah.
Let's.
Sorry, am I catching you in the bathroom?
No. I was checking my traffic.
Okay.
Well, the next level does sit at 310, about 310. Yeah.
Ranger 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
nice. That
Gotcha.
sounds like the fourth 382 on my chart.
Yeah. So,
I stopped sharing. So whoever
yeah,
wants.
I mean, I'll pull up some stuff here. Like the bottom line is this. I still think that this is the 41st inside candle of this big giant green candle over here. So I still cannot be like, entirely bearish on the macro trend because it's just trying to find a higher low right now. That's basically what I'm seeing, It
The big
hasn't
old
really
letter
quite,
N.
yeah, it still hasn't really quite formed like a higher high per se compared to over here, but it's been forming a higher high compared to a lot of these highs over here. And this is a higher low compared to over here, right? So on the macro trend, I still cannot be bearish. And if you look at like the volume shelf, you look at like the anchored volume profile, like 25, I think means something because there's a big giant volume shelf over here. And usually towards the bottom of the volume shelf here usually tends to be a little bit more of like resistance of support, right? So I think it tried to back test and like it bounced from like the 22, 23 level right around here at the shelf over here and it's getting back to around like 25. You look at just the horizontal line over here, you can see like there's some pretty important level over here. We basically this is support, 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 broke down, resistance, resistance, resistance. And over here we broke through it and then we're just back testing the support. Right. That's kind of what I'm seeing on the greater scheme of things without even using any like, fancy indicators or anything like that. If I just turn on some of the other indicators, I do want to, instead of showing the Ichimoku, I'm going to go to the weekly here. I'm going to go to, wow, this is just kind of slow. Okay, I'm going to go to weekly here, and I'm also going to go to, also just look at weekly, like this structure, if you don't count this wick over here, overall it's been making more higher highs and higher lows. Or now it's just trying to find a higher low. I'm going to pull up the Subiichi cloud over here. Look at what the Subiichi cloud is doing. It's the top of the cloud could potentially be support. You also have the Tenkan or the conversion line for the Subiichi cloud over here, which also seem to be serving as pretty decent support. And you also had a bullish cross over here. So I can't really be like that bearish on it. But things are just like way overheated. Like I think it's just needed to cool down.
Wait. Was that a little bit of green on the Lux Super Alga Super Ichi?
Let me see. Let me pull that up here
It was
again.
hiding behind. Yeah,
Over
there it
here,
is.
yeah, it's gonna be green like towards the end of the year, if that means anything.
Yeah.
And it could. But yeah, like I also want to take a look at the volatility, what to expect moving forward. Like on the daily, it's still not really that squeezy yet. So I can potentially see it potentially even going even longer for another
Yeah.
week or so before there's any kind of volatility that could be coming. But it's just not really looking like super squeezy or anything like that. On the weekly bullish Japan, like it's just like expanding. It's still looking very, very nice. It's still like the upper bullish bands do want to expand higher over time. And it looks like it still want to go higher. That's kind of what I'm seeing over time, but I don't know how far this higher low is going to go down, right? I show you that there's some support in the on the Subiichi cloud that we're finding support at, and just like what Matt was showing with the Ichimoku clouds down here at 20, right? So you still have some support underneath below before it goes down to like around like 16, which is I think what was the support that you have on your GAN, Matt, down here at the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud. So you still have a lot of support before it gets down there, right? And if it gets down there, like you have volume show support over here around 16, that's going to be potentially pretty important zone. If you look at also like just look at a horizontal line over here, there's a pretty important line over here in 16, right? Just like how there's a little bit of an important line over here around like 25. So yeah, so there's some confluence over here. That's what I want to show. But it's probably going to end up like maybe standing another week doing nothing. So yeah, that's me.
There's
We
GME.
Yeah, that GME, we can definitely talk more about miners. We can just kind of speed through. If Tracker, if you have some miners charts you want to share, please feel free to do
So,
that. You know, but we're gonna probably let Matt just to speed through it. Just
Oh,
it's
because I'm a fast guy,
just you're a fast guy. You finish fast. Yeah.
yeah.
You're you're not a nice guy. You finish fast. So
Hey, if
yeah.
you're not
want Matt
first,
to
you're
go
last.
first? Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, please talk about HUD and then like Tracker if you want to weigh in on HUD 8, you know, feel free to do that.
Yeah, so HUD, this is linear scale. Like it's been holding like this angle as support for a long time. Then it broke through that one. Now it's breaking through the top one. But the main thing that I wanted to show is the confluence of the log scale chart. And there's the, oh, I do have the bull market band, right? But anyways, yeah, so we can see what happened. It held this 45-degree angle perfectly. Then it went up to the orange level again to have it as resistance, and now it's flipping it to support. But now it's going directly to the top of the arc, which actually, when you put on the Ichimoku, it coincides with the top of the cloud around that area. So will it continue higher? We'll find out. But it could be running into some resistance right here for a move back lower to test levels before it starts to break out. But if this can keep going and like just close above everything, that'll be the most bullish scenario. So we'll see how this week closes. But right now it looks like it's running into some resistance.
What's your next horizontal line up? Just above the
The next
screen.
level is 66, 67,
Okay. Okay. I
which
got
is kind of
51
near the
on.
previous high.
If you wanna do two things for me on your chart, because I'm demanding.
Yes.
If you can do I think this is a yeah, if you can do like a linear Fibonacci level that goes from the all-time high to the cycle low. I think it's right now the right at resistance at the 0.136. So you might not have it there. Yeah.
Well, the 236 is at 22.
Yeah, it's at 0.136. Yeah.
Oh, the 0.136. Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
it in front of me.
0.136 it's like around like 14.64, somewhere around there. So
I got 1330.
yeah.
Let me show you my chart. Show you my chart.
Yeah, yeah,
0.0.
yeah. Well, before you do that though, before you do,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh
I do
yeah,
want
there it
to,
is.
yeah, you see that,
0.136.
like it's right there at
Yeah.
resistance, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's also another confluence resistance zone. The other thing I want to show is the Bollinger Band. It's like way outside the upper Bollinger Band right now, just to mess with your chart.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, so you're gonna end up probably having some cooling down because you're at resistance zone on Ichimoku Cloud. You're way outside upper Bollinger Band, and you just hit an important fit level.
Yeah, and the confluence of the Ichimoku right here and my arc as well. So
Yeah, so a lot of
everything's
confluence.
lining up that it's probably not going to continue too much higher in the short term. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Tracker, go for it.
Oh, it's okay. So let's see. What I have is
You see, I don't even have to show my chart anymore. Thank you.
all right. Here's my HUD 8 chart, and I've got I took this low down here at was it 390 was the low. That's the wave start, and then up to high of 2275 down to this 618 for the wave 2 support.
Yeah.
So my extensions go 76.4% to $20.58. Then back down to test 1338 for support. Then up to 32.23 for the wave 3. Wave 4 comes down to $25.03. And my wave 5 goes up to $51.08. Here's what it looks like on the weekly chart on the down here. The MCDX plus is enlarged to show texture. Yeah, that's what I got. A really nice, and these are also weekly candlesticks. So.
Yeah, the MCDX is looking like pretty hot, but again, like even if the whales are in, sometimes if you're hitting resistance, they might just take profit and leave anytime. You know, they're mean like that. So,
Well,
if you can show me one thing, which is if you can switch to your monthly chart,
Sure.
and you have already have the Ichimoku cloud there.
Yeah.
So I think that the Ichimoku cloud is probably going to be somewhere, maybe before. I don't know whether or not it's going to hit the top of the Ichimoku cloud and that's it for the run, but it's not really in confluence with any of your zones, so maybe not. I don't know.
Not in this case. I mean, unless the 4 is longer.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, like kind of hit the
there's a
bottom of the cloud.
lot of
Yeah,
times, I would say maybe if there's no confluence here yet, then maybe the 1 runs up a little higher,
yeah.
and then the 2 runs up a little higher. Um, let's see. What if we do this and this and
And then the 3 runs up a little higher. Yeah.
this? I don't know if it extends for some reason.
Yeah, it's hard. And then 5 might end up breaking above, and then it might end up
Oh,
back
and this
testing
could go high
1,000. I
too.
don't know.
This goes to 2618, 55.
Yeah, yeah.
And that lines up way back over here. This candlestick stopped at a high of 56.49. So that would be just coming, failing to get just any higher than this candlestick. It consolidates back down, builds a base, and then moves up to challenge this one next.
Yeah, and that would be like the wave 5 of 5 after that. Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
the challenge yeah.
It'll either fall just short or just over it. That's around 80, it was 58 here, so it'd be like 81 or 83.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stop sharing. That's what I
Cool.
got for that.
Cool. Matt, it's back to you.
Okay, what Wolf, I guess, next?
Well, whichever one you have on your chart. We can talk about Wolf, IREN, Bitfarms, Mara, CleanSpark, Cypher. I can talk about all of them. Should we have time? So
Okay. Yeah, we're actually going through these quite fast. It's
yeah,
it's not normal for you guys. You
because
guys
we're not talking about Tesla or Palantir or
I mean, we could talk about that too. So.
we could, yeah, we have time, we can, yeah. Or
Now it's
BTBT, if you want to talk about BTBT. Another thing also Rivian. That might be interesting because it just made a big move after hours.
oh, did
I
it?
did. Well,
Yeah,
I have Wolf pulled up here first, so
yeah. I'm
we'll do that
demanding.
one first. Demanding. Okay, so here is Wolf. And linear scale, you can see it's breaking levels again. It's breaking the 45 and possibly could be flipping it back to a support. So we'll keep an eye on that. And in confluence of the Ichimoku, we can see it's been pretty good after breaking out above. It's never really looked back. So that's a good indicator. And also, I know you want the Bollinger Bands, right? You want to see that?
Yeah, look at that. Look how crazy that is.
Yeah.
Look at how crazy it is. It's like it just keeps on one like it just breaks through the angle and it just keeps
Yeah.
on like want to get above the upper bullish band, just wants to keep going higher, which is insane.
Yeah. And even on log scale, it looks pretty good too here
Yeah.
with
It just
breaking above.
broke up,
So there's
broke it
really
back as an angle. Yeah.
so both on log scale, both on linear scale, they don't really look like there's any resistance above. Really, I could be ready to break above to maybe the $7 level, possibly in the near future, and especially like breaking structure here of making a higher high. So could it come back and like test this level here in the threes? Yeah, that's a possibility, but it's looking like this thing is ready to continue higher because I don't really see too much resistance from here.
You
In
you
my
want
mind, I can see the Tesla, I can see the triangle, and it's done. It's finished the triangle, and it's
yeah, it looks like it just breaks out from the triangle. You want to pull up the monthly chart and do the Bollinger Band. I want to show you something. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll do
yeah.
the Bollinger
And
Band.
I want you to look at the lower Bollinger Band. I want you to find where it is. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's got more room to go. It's got more.
It's got more room to go. It wants to expand. It wants to go higher. It's
Yeah.
I think the cycle just got started for this one.
I need to buy some of this.
Yeah, you might be hitting like, the bulk of wave 3 here. Like I think that might be Yeah.
The only thing is, though, the only resistance in the way is this 0.5 Fibonacci
Yeah.
level right here.
Yeah.
So if that can break, then it'll go easily up to the sevens. But the reason why I would say it could come back and test these levels here is because it's at the 0.5, and maybe it'll retest the 0.382 again before continuing higher. But that's the only risk I really see. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's also a little bit outside upper Bollinger Band, but you know, but it looks like it wants to go higher. Yeah.
I'll watch this one carefully and look for an
Yeah.
entry.
Yeah. Don't forget to switch back to your weekly chart.
oh yes, yes. Shame on you.
Shame on me. Want to go to the next one? You want to talk about whichever one you want to talk about, really? Irene, maybe.
Do you have anything to add on this tracker or no? On Wolf?
Nope, I didn't do one for this one, but it looks like I said, it looks like it's already. I could see the triangle and it's broken out of it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
IREN.
But by the way,
Yeah.
Iron on the monthly Bollinger Band looks the same. It also like is extended all the way to the bottom on the monthly as well. So sorry, I make you switch back and forth. But
Yeah,
look
you
at
just told me
yeah.
to. You
Find
just
the
told me to
little
go back
Bollinger
to the
Band,
weekly.
man. Find it. Where is it? It's negative.
Oh,
It's not as low as it was once before, so
Yeah, it's true. So that means that it might go surpass it potentially. But man, you're hitting resistance.
yeah. So it's still at the resistance level here. Like I think I've mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and it hit that, and sure enough, it has not been able to break above it yet. So if it can't break above this level within the next week or two or whatever, then it's probably going to come back and retest levels maybe in the nines or the tens and continue higher. But if it can break above, then it'll be good times ahead. So just got to keep an eye on those levels here. That's about it for IREN. Nothing really has changed since the last time I talked about it.
I also want to like kind of focus on like a lot of these minor. I also want to kind of like focus a little bit on a lot of these miners. If Bitcoin is really going to break above resistance, you know, over anywhere between now to October, like you're really talking about if it hits like 175, like you're really talking about hitting some of the crazy targets up above, which on your log
Yeah.
chart is like you're talking about like to like the 40s, 50s, you know, like something crazy, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, yeah, we have resistance, so it's gonna go down further. Don't worry about going up.
I
Yeah,
do have an
maybe
IREN
so.
chart, an IrisEnergy chart,
Yeah, go ahead.
which just
Yeah, baby. Yeah, do it.
I've got this one farther along. Share screen, yes. There we go. So I've got this one is done with the third wave of this smaller cycle. And it's in the fourth. It's trying to find the fourth wave now. It might be done. 132. If it needs to, it might come down to 1149, but that could be all of it. It could be done and be heading on up to 2225. This going for the fifth wave. Just needs to get over that 1521 hump and on up. That's what I've got there. 25. And then I guess monthly charge. Armor. Oh, this is the clean version. So here it is with Ichimoku Cloud. Oh wait, it doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough history for Ichimoku Cloud here on the monthly. On the weekly, the cloud's way down there. Build up a little shelf around the end of the year. All right, that's me. If you got the next one.
Yeah, I mean, keep your chart open. Like last week, I really thought that there's a little bit of a tweezer top, you know, to it, because you have two big wicks above last week. Sorry, go back to the weekly chart. Like,
Weekly chart.
yeah, like you know, you look at like the last 2 weeks, it's like a little bit of a tweezer top, right? Resistance that Matt was showing too, you know. So I really thought that it was gonna be like a pretty big downtrend, maybe back to like 11, 10, 8, you know, whatever. But it actually is holding pretty well. Like it almost
Yes.
looks like it make another wick, like trying to eat above, like on supply above. So I'm actually
Look at this
not sure,
perfect
like,
wick right here. This perfect wick goes right up to 1149,
yeah,
comes back down to the 100% at 983, and then on up. And I don't think it needs to come back to this wick. I think it's done.
And if it does, it would still look bullish. Like it's all
Yeah.
of these would be like inside candles to that big candle over there 2 weeks ago, you know.
Right.
So it's just consolidating sideways. If it hits like 11.5 or something like that, that would be a very, very good zone. But obviously if it ends up going to like 8 or 10, like that's even better. But I'm not sure if the market will necessarily give you that because of how strong the bull trend is. So yeah, I was expecting to go down a lot harder this week so far. Maybe the week is still early, maybe it will do that, but so far it looks like it's still on to kind of wake up and challenge the resistance above, you know. And if you're talking about a very parabolic bull trend, if you talk about like the MCD the MCDX plus being so many whales for so long without any retail, it could be one of those times where we kind of break above. But I know Matt's going to be more like cautious at resistance, you know. So, um, yeah. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
one last thing, just the theory of alternation again, which is with us Elioticians, this wave two is very long, which
yeah,
this wave short, this wave four will be very short. It can
yeah,
be done already, which is why you just saw me. I just kind of brought this in. I just snuck this over to the left a little bit. I think it could get up there a little high, a little faster. Maybe October surprise.
yeah, yeah. It
Never
would be
know.
surprising if Bitcoin doesn't do much, and like you know, just like how Bitcoin hasn't done much for the last few weeks, and next thing you know, Irene just ran like I ran. You know, it's crazy. You know,
No, still doing the,
yeah, it hasn't done anything.
the,
Yeah,
the tracker's triangle. It just
yeah,
has to finish the triangle here.
yeah. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how Irene has run. But anyway,
I'm gonna stop sharing and
yeah, I'm done talking
get back
about
to Matt.
Irene.
Are we doing BTBT?
Yeah, that's the hot one today.
Super
Yeah, yeah,
hot.
yeah. The whole story, yeah. Yeah, you put up the weekly Shimobu file too. I'm sure you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, I can see the daily chart. It went from like 269 to popped out 345 today.
Actually, I ended up punching in. Wow, this is a pretty crazy week so far.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
punching above my arc too, which I thought it would not happen right away, but it
yeah.
sure did. But yeah, we'll see. This could be resistance though, and it could even like close the week below the arc, so we'll keep an eye on that, really, because these things are super volatile. But one thing I wanted to show is on this log scale chart, the reason why I kind of held that support is from the Fibonacci right here. You can see
Ooh.
that it just the 382 at 255, it just was holding that support nicely. So then it just was the launch pad for that giant green candle, 28% so far. But since there is some resistance right here, we'll see if it can close the week above this, but it could end up closing the week back below like maybe the 310 zone underneath this arc. So we'll keep an eye on that
Yeah,
going
just look back in
into the
June
future.
2021 and you can see where it just did the same thing. It had two big green weekly candles that shot way up,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
415 to 20.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
And then it got above it and then went back underneath it again.
Oh yeah. What am I doing
And,
here?
and another request is to change to the monthly chart and then pull out the Ichimoku cloud and look at the conversion.
Yeah. Let's see the Ichimoku and the
Ichimoku on the monthly, and if you look at the conversion line, it's yeah, you see
yeah,
that.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so who knows if there's any more room to run for this in the short term.
yeah,
But yeah, it's still following the market symmetry perfectly. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, the majority of the move has already been accomplished for the past 2 months, in my
yeah,
opinion. This 21% and then that 36%. So
yeah.
anybody buying here is probably just retail.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think eventually, like the whale is going to set a full price, but like I don't know, it's hitting some major resistance. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, which is not surprising after it goes to like 30-40% in a day. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. We
Anybody
have
else have a chart to share?
no. I just tell you what to do, man. I mean,
Okay. I mean, are people bored with miners? Should we go back to Tesla or something, or what's going on?
let's do a couple more. Let's do a couple more. Let's do like Bitfarm, Mara, Clean Spark, and then we can go back to like Tesla or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's my Bitfarm?
I don't know. The chat's awfully quiet. I think people are just tired of us.
Yeah, they don't want to, or they
Well,
don't
you
want
know,
to type.
it's a rockin' Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And plus, it's been Wednesday night, so this is like the first week we.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry, guys. Like, today is a little bit and I think next week you're planning on, is next week going to be the week that we have to switch, or the week after? Anyway, we'll figure it.
the we wait. Third. No, I think it is next week. I think we're going to start doing Tuesdays from now on.
Yeah, either Tuesday or Thursday doesn't bother me. Either one would be
Okay,
fine.
yeah, Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
somebody said Tesla. They're waking up in the chat. Okay.
Oh, there are people watching. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll do
But too bad.
Bitfarms, Keen Spark, and Mara real quick, and then we would jump over to Tesla.
Yeah, so Bitfarm actually looks pretty good. With the Ichimoku, it's holding the baseline
Yeah.
support so far on the weekly. And it's been very symmetrical as well with this angle. Is once it broke above here, it hasn't really looked back. But if it does close candles below the baseline, then it could head back down to the conversion and the angle again and the top of the cloud. But if it did do that, and like the 230s, 240s, I think that'd be a great buy opportunity for all this confluence, like the top of the arc, the angle, the conversion line, that all in one zone. So is it going to break higher right now? We'll see how the week closes, but it looks like it's still challenging to break out into the previous highs here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that on Bitfarms.
Yeah, it's still range bound right now for the most part. If you
Break in with my chart again real quick
yeah.
here. I do have one for this for Bitfarm. All right, here's my Bitfarm chart. I'm looking for a wave one top of 420. And look, I tried to put a GAN on this one. And then support for wave two at 286. And I can see what Matt's talking about. Like it may not get right to the 420. It might come back down and retest this 23.6 fib at $2.35. You can kind of see the Ichimoku cloud kind of coming under like that, and it's got some time to do it. But I am looking overall. My next target is 420, then 286, and then where are you? 637 with 1382, and builds about 503 for a base up to go to 988. This is where I've got my wave 5 top out here, and then probably just do another ABC down, end up somewhere around 7, and then start up again. And that's if I stop sharing mine, does it go right back to Matt's? Oh no, it doesn't.
I'll share mine real quick. I just
Okay.
wanted to kind of show something here real quick. Yeah, this is the weekly chart here in Bollinger Band. It looks like it's just stuck in a range, Last week it was a pretty toppy looking candle. They call it like a shooting star, type candle. Usually I expect having some kind of downtrend, as Matt was showing, you have some support here at the baseline, which is pretty decent support so far, but is it necessarily going to hold? It could. I mean, it looks like the whales are still in there. If it doesn't, then you're talking about the top of the Ichimoku cloud and also confluent with the Bullband support band that's a little bit uprising over here. And you're also talking about the conversion line down here, like anywhere from like 2.4 to 2.3 is probably going to be a pretty good buy zone down here if it gets down here, if it breaks down from the baseline. So there's just a lot of confluence down there. That's what I'm trying to show. That's all.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Mara. I'll do Mara first, and then we'll do CLSK. So Mara is, in my opinion, is looking pretty good. Not only is it reaching the bottom of the cloud, but it's approaching my angle there, and lots of confluence, in my opinion, that from current price down to maybe even 16 something, that'll be a great buying opportunity for Mara for a continuation back up to $51, right? Or maybe before that, there'll be more resistance, of course, but there's more resistance right here with these wicks. And then after that with the arc around the 40s, but then ultimately the next target would be that like $52 or so. But yeah, it's looking really good for a buy opportunity
Yeah. Are you worried that
right
it's
now
back?
or
Are you worried that it got back underneath the conversion line? You worry about that, or no? Not really.
not really. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other confluence that
Yeah.
this could be holding. I mean, should we pull up the Bollinger Bands here? Like,
Yeah. It's not doing much. It's just sideways. Yeah. It's not doing much.
not.
I was
It's
gonna say,
not as squeezy as clean spark, but
I
Oh,
won't
and it is
bother
below
pulling my
the bull
Mara
market.
chart, but I'll just say that it does look like it went into like an extended wider flat for like it
yeah.
started, made a nice start for the wave one, but then fell
Yeah.
short and fell
It
over.
does look like that.
Hasn't really
Yeah.
started yet.
It does look like that. And the expanded flat might be the wave two, to be honest,
And
So
here's the monthly, because I know you love it so much.
yeah,
And
it's
this is another confluence that the baseline could be holding around like
yeah,
1860 right here. So it's just basically been sandwiched in between the conversion and baseline on the monthly chart for quite some time.
yeah,
And if it can ever break above that conversion line, then I think it can go higher to the previous highs up here into the 30s, possibly.
yeah. It's just range bound right now, unfortunately, for the month. But
Yeah.
it's not gonna be range bound forever. So
No, but the trend is really nice since the bottom here. It's been series of
yeah,
higher lows, and this angle is just proving to be really solid support, kind of like that
yeah,
GME angle as well. So
yeah.
anything from current price down to like the 16s, I think would be an awesome buy opportunity for this.
Yeah. If you go back to the weekly chart, I never asked you that, but if you go back to the
Oh
weekly
my God, what is
chart,
happening?
I want tracker. You mentioned that it was like an expanded flat kind of appearance to it, right?
Yeah.
Could this be the wave two correction before like the big wave three move up? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I'd say that's a very strong possibility.
Yeah. So
And
if this is yeah, if the wave three of like if the big wave three is coming, um yeah. And anyway, it'd be nice to see your chart at some point. But anyway, yeah.
well, I could bring it up. It's let's
Yeah,
see.
go ahead.
Because I don't want to have you bring up your stuff if you're not ready yet. I mean, I don't,
No,
you
no,
know.
it's not. I just I don't want to slow the show down. So let's
The
see.
showdown.
Whoops.
But the one guy that wanted to see Tesla is gonna have to end up waiting for longer.
Exactly.
Well,
Wait.
they want to see Apple too, so
Okay, all right,
Oh,
do Apple. Yeah. Hey,
oh,
Sean.
I'll just do it clean here. So yeah, it looks like my wave start is down here at the 320. And then I was looking at this for where's my points here? What is this even hanging on? Hang on. I need to unlock this for a second. Oh yeah, that is my wave one start. So I thought this was the let's do that. One, two, but maybe because it did, I drew this way before we had all this stuff. And I'm
Yeah,
looking at this, I think this is the wave one top.
yeah. If you think that's the wave one top,
That's the wave one top.
then
This is the wave two bottom. And it
okay,
looks
that works.
much,
That
much
works.
nicer looking.
That works.
Yeah, there you go. And then just kind of grab all, whoops. Oh, it's doing this thing. And just grab all this and just kind of pull it right here. And it still just about fits. You don't have to move it much. So I'm looking for the wave one to be 36. This is the wave three minor degree one
Hmm.
for 36.96. Wave three minor degree two, 25.59.
Hmm.
Then the wave three, all of wave three stops at 51.01. This is too low. It should go to the 100%. And this should go to the, wait, did I have a, oh, because this was 618-ish.
So yeah, Matt, if it breaks, if it gets to your
That's right,
50,
76432. I'm
yeah.
just double checking what I got. So actually, this should go to
Ooh,
55.35
higher.
for the
Okay.
1382, then back to the one for 43.99,
Yeah.
and the 2382 for 85.11.
Yeah. That'll be all-time high.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Right. That one definitely that gives us a slightly new higher high,
Yeah.
and then it consolidates and then builds up again.
Yeah. There'll be a higher high. Yeah, I
Oh,
wonder if it ends up getting some resistance, just like Matt's GAN chart was showing around like 50. But yeah, if you break
what
above that,
we're
it's
down
gonna
here. Oh, here's like Mara's on the daily chart. The retail's just creeping in. Why it's having trouble. A little bit of a failure to launch.
yeah.
On the
You know, I don't
weekly
care about the daily chart too as
better.
much. Yeah.
On the monthly, there's a chance here for the bankers to take over.
Yeah. The weekly and monthlies do look pretty nice. So I'm not too concerned about that daily because there's so much fluctuation in the daily.
By the way, I set it up this time so that if you just want to bust in with your chart, you just say like start sharing, and it will
Oh,
just override whoever's up there. So
We
when you're
get a
ready,
battle with the charts.
you can just bust right on in with your chart.
that's
Yeah.
kind of mean. That's kind of mean.
Well, I just busted in right now.
All right,
Woohoo.
busted in. Yeah.
Tesla. Yeah, this is the fib right here that I've been paying attention to. So
Yeah.
we'll see if this weekly close can get above 187. Like if it can start closing above this level, but it's still battling it really throughout the week, Monday and Tuesday. So still 3 days left, right? So we'll see if it can close above. But if it does, I think 200 is the next opportunity if it can start doing that. So yeah, it's like this is the tightest range we've really seen Tesla in a really long time for this many weekly candles in a row, right? We haven't
Oh,
really seen this kind of range in forever,
tell me about it.
right? The last time was back here, like in maybe September, October, or August of 2020 before it just launched up higher. So it's giving kind of like similar vibes to that, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not really the same because when you look to the left of here, there is no resistance. But now when you look to the left of here, there's a bunch of resistance over here.
Yeah.
So it's not really the same kind of comparison, but it's just, yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen this, and it's looking pretty good. And again, let me go to my log scale chart where this 187 is lining up to that new scale that I did a video about, right?
Woohoo.
Yeah.
I love this video, by the way. Like it was highly it was well received among my followers.
Yeah, I
Well
think a lot of
received.
people enjoyed it. Yeah. So this is the new scaled that I think is probably even more symmetrical than the other one that I had, where it's on the top arc. Like, look at all these levels here, basically resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. And now it's like I said in the video, after it went down to the V bottom here for the bottom arc, it never really looked back. But look at it, it was like support, support, earnings right here that week, bearish engulfing right below, confirmation of resistance. And then right here, the April earnings right up to the arc and resistance, resistance, and still resistance, right? So I think like this scaled again is even more accurate than the other one I've been showing, which kind of implies that if we can start to close weekly candles above that 187 level, just that matches that fib that I showed you guys, pretty
Mhm.
much go back to the 200s, maybe 205, maybe retest this high right here, 205.60, I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if that can break, then we can see not like a clear shot to 290, but maybe like up to 250, 260, get rejected there a little bit, then continue higher. But yeah, ultimately is what I was saying in that video is 290. If this level 290, 300 in that zone gets flipped to support, then it'll challenge the previous all-time highs. And then once those break, then this new GAN is showing like a $5,000 Tesla, possibly
Woohoo.
by the year 2032.
Nice.
So,
Thanks, Kathy.
well, let's go even see
Yeah,
next
yeah,
level after that, shall we? $5,000 Tesla by what? Possibly, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what kind of time that is. There's no time down here. But yeah, 2040. What's the next level after
$87,000.
that? Oh, look at that. 1.5 million after that? What?
We don't need money after that. We'll just have like
Yeah.
autonomous robots doing everything for us.
Yeah.
Well,
So
everybody's like, are you worried about the market cap being so many trillions and stuff? Like, I mean, trillions don't even mean anything anymore with the
Yeah.
rate of inflation. It just
Yeah.
doesn't. Like,
No,
it's like
no,
people, they forget that inflation is like destroying the buying power of the dollar, and it
yeah.
doesn't even matter anymore.
No, nobody even thought that like trillion-dollar companies are possible. Now we have like several, you know. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you want to pull the Bollinger Band, I'm gonna show you on the weekly. Yeah, it's getting tight.
Should be getting tight with all
Not
that
the
side.
provide support band, but the Bollinger Band. Yeah, I know. It's
Oh,
confusing.
sorry.
I'm here to confuse you, Matt. Yeah, it's getting
Nah,
tight. Yeah.
toiga
The
the toiga.
top of the don't move your can, baby. Yeah, there you go. The
Oh,
top
get
of
in.
the Bollinger Band, the upper Bollinger Band is at 200. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's even more confluence that this 200 is going to be a lot of resistance. A
Yeah.
lot of resistance.
Yeah. So if you even break about the arc, that's probably going to be the next confluence level of resistance. And I think we may get rejected, bounce back to the top of the arc and back test
Yeah, top.
before. Yeah.
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 So go up to
That's
200, back test the RCS support, and then finally break to these
Yep.
levels, the 250s, 260s. But yeah, I mean, everything's kind of lining up for like the August 8th Robotech
Yeah.
to reveal all the things could be shooting up
Oh, no, Matt's
positively.
breaking
So
up. Matt's
how it's
breaking up.
saying the 187 right here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I was
Can you
just
hear me?
breaking up a little bit. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been telling
Okay.
all my followers,
But yeah, I love.
I'm bearish until it breaks over 200. Once it breaks over 200,
Yeah.
then that's,
Yeah.
that's we're in the final stages of it. But until
Yeah.
then, I'm still bearish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so I can see it like probably wicking maybe above like this 205, but then probably closing the week below that, and then going back and retesting the arc and flipping that to back to support. How you can see it was support before,
Yeah.
and essentially maybe like by August or whatever, it can finally break above that. But I'm this might be the week that it closes above. We'll see, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. But honestly, this new GAN is so beautiful, so symmetrical. How it just calculated everything, and now like after that earnings, it's been resistance ever since. So there's another catalyst coming to flip it back to support. So we'll see what happens.
It is really super lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, I never expected anything less from you though. I mean, yeah, you're pretty gorgeous. So your
I'm
game is gonna be gorgeous.
I mean, next my next scale is going to be a Tesla 1 million, right? So we'll see. For the next level. So yeah, I'll just keep going up because people like the clickbait, right? Like, ooh, a Tesla 1 million.
Tesla 1 million.
It works.
Yeah,
It works. And you have the GAN to support it. You know, it's not like
yeah.
you're coming out from nowhere. So
Well, it just like when it matches other confluences like this chart does, it just shows you how accurate it can be with the power
yeah,
of GAN.
yeah,
So,
it's absolutely incredible. Yeah.
do we want to do Apple now, or do you guys have a Tesla chart to share?
Do you want to do a Tesla chart, Candy Scott?
I don't. I mean, you already put the Bullish Band for me, so I don't have. I already talked about it. I think basically everything you're saying, I agree with. So
I think I feel like I did mine to death already. I'll just do a quick and dirty version of this, and then I'll be done with it.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see, Zoom meeting. All right, I'm gonna bust in. Well, boom. All right, here I am with my messy chart. My GANs, not so pretty as Matt's, but we're in this big old Cracker's triangle, and once it finally does break out of this blue triangle, I see it challenging the all-time high. Probably just slightly below it, like 407.
mhm.
Probably not slightly above it, and then it comes back down in three waves, and then builds back to go up higher again. In the monthly chart, it's starting to look pretty good for the MCDX plus.
Yeah, there's more. There's a little bit more momentum coming. Yeah.
On the weekly chart. So I've got this crazy line, and I put this post out. I don't know if you guys happen to see it. I said this could be the one, and I put a little picture of Neo from the Matrix, and I think right here, 152.37 was it's been an important price. See right here where candles were both above and below in December 2023. And it came down to a perfect touch. And actually, I think this is the touch where I kind of made my synopsis on it. This is the candle that at low is 152.37. So right here, perfect touch. I think I'm looking for one more touch, the 152.37, and it could happen later in like after Robotaxi Day, because a lot of times we've got deliveries numbers coming out on July 2nd. That's usually sell the news. It just, everyone gets excited just before it comes out, and then it somehow disappoints or it just sells off, or everyone says, oh, it was already priced in, whatnot. And then earnings on 7/17, and that's widely regarded to be disappointing, probably, but there's always they tend to like to build the price up just before you get a reversal on these earnings calls. Not like last time, but this time maybe it will. And then Robotaxi Day also might start to build up price just ahead of it. This is all, every time we switch charts, it like gets these all wrong because August is way back over here. Anyway, 9 times out of 10, every Tesla event is a sell the news event, and they always sell off afterwards. With the one exception of this earnings down here, that we just had. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking for a touch to 152.37 this year, and then have it just absolutely leap out of the triangle after that. And that's what I'm looking for.
Something interesting. I think something interesting, is it like today or yesterday? I don't remember, but they released the delivery numbers. I believe it was
That's right, July 2nd.
Yeah, it was under expectations too, right? But the price actually, like, it was okay. Like, they didn't really like sell the news.
Oh, there were China delivery numbers that were supposed to be really good, but
yeah,
price didn't really move that much.
yeah. I was like kind of surprised. Like, you have pretty bad news. I think they missed by like 20% or something like that. And it's
Right. I mean, like
anyway.
this is all it did. This candle right here, that's today.
Yeah,
This morning it moved up,
yeah,
and it didn't even make a higher high than back here when we didn't have any news at all, and
yeah,
price just moved up on its own because the money managers, the bankers wanted they came in, you can see right here they bought real heavily to
yeah,
prop this up. They didn't want the price to drop too low because
yeah,
their max pain for options is 180.
yeah,
So it was 175, then it's 180, 180. Week after next week, it's 175 again. And they'll just keep propping it up. And then all they have to do is they prop it up and then they disappear. And then retail sells it off again. And then if it gets too low, they just come in, they buy again. And then as soon as they disappear, it starts to fall down again.
yeah,
So, they'll just kind of, they're playing Flappy Bird with the Tesla price. They just hit the space bar to buy it up a little bit. And then when they let go, the Flappy Bird like starts to fall down again.
yeah.
And it's been doing it for, oh my God, so long. The last time we
Yeah.
had anything interesting was, back here in February. And then it was just like too much excitement, and now
Yeah.
not enough excitement.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's all I got. Go ahead and bust on in, Matt, or whoever wants to share up
Yeah,
next.
yeah, I'm okay
Yeah.
with Tesla. I mean, if Matt, you want to show your Apple chart too, but I mean, basically what Trey was saying is there's a possibility for it to bring about the arguments to back test it. I mean, I can see that
Yeah,
happening.
but currently, as long as 168 holds, I don't see it
Yeah,
going lower currently.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see. But you're basically saying it's going to be guaranteed that it's going to go below that 168, Steve. Yeah.
I'm looking for that as the catalyst. Like, the final shoe that'll drop is when it touches some really stupid low price and a bunch of people panic and start selling their Tesla stock to the banking sector again, to the whales.
When do you think that's going to be? By earnings or something, or what?
I think it's gonna. I'm kind of. We'll have to see how the earnings comes out, but I think it's just gonna be a slow decline all the way, and even Robotaxi will be underwhelming.
Mhm.
Um, and so then people will just sort of be despondent, like there's nothing to look forward to after Robotaxi Day, and then price will drop, and the whales buy it all up, and then it takes off. So,
Yeah, it's
Well,
certainly a
we'll see.
possibility. Yeah, 160 is a pretty strong support level though on like multiple confluence. So and it
well,
bounced off of that pretty recently too. So I think it's like
yeah,
range bound. It's yeah, I mean
it's
we'll see.
crazy right now. It's Tesla is just riding this tight edge, and it could easily, like, every from moment to moment, it
Yeah.
flips between my bearish premise and my bullish premise,
Yeah.
and it's doing it so perfectly. So I ask myself, well, why is it even bothering to entertain this bearish premise if it's not going to do it? Like, why does it?
Yeah. I don't care. Like as long as it's less than 200, the lower from 200 the better. I'm gonna buy as much as I can. Like it doesn't matter to me. I'm just lazy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
bearish
no.
until it breaks 200.
Yeah,
Well,
if it breaks 200, I might stop. But like right now, I just been buying every week. So
Nice.
well, breaking 187 this week, I think, or 187.50 or whatever it is. I think it's going to be a good opportunity to go to 200.
Sweet.
yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. And then speaking of 200, we got the Apple chart pulled up over here. So
Yeah. So since this is a very long chart, I have the monthly chart pulled up, and I that's the scale I drew my GAN on. So we'll do the monthly chart first, and essentially, yeah, it's breaking above the blue level, and that is a good thing. And could that be support now? Could it come back down to the maybe what is that 197 mark and go higher? Yeah, that's a possibility. But one thing I wanted to show is I think I showed it last time is when I add the confluence of the GAN box, you can see why this level here becomes support and why this level was resistance. I don't know if you guys remember that.
that was beautiful.
Yeah,
That
see.
was some Catherine Zeta-Jones stuff. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, so I'll just delete the box or the square behind it, and you can see, yeah, this was the confluence of why price stopped right here, and on the GAN square, it didn't show that, right? And this is why price is getting rejected right here for the angle sloping down. So essentially, could it come back down here? 198, yes. And I think they were asking about 175 or 180 level in the chat. So the blue level here on the box is at 188, right? So I think that is maybe what we'll see. Could it come back and retest the lows here in like the 170s? I think that would be like the worst case scenario. But since this is a monthly chart, that could take a long time. And if it could take a long time, then these angles keep rising, right? So I think what will happen is like this right now could be the buy zone right here from the 190, 198 to the 188 level. I think this would be the buy zone for the first foreseeable future. And do I see things really breaking above right now and continuing higher? I don't. And the reason why is I'll use the Bollinger Band right here. You can see why it's getting rejected. But also, when we use the weekly Bollinger Band for this, it's starting to close candles below the Bollinger Band. It's not riding on the top side of it anymore, which is kind of showing that it's going to come back down possibly and retest levels.
Yeah, thanks for showing the Bollinger Band. I mean, you also have a trees top there too, which is
Yeah.
generally a pretty big, like a pretty good top, and you also are hitting resistance on your other chart. So,
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, everything fits. I think it's probably going to come back down to 190s, but who knows? Who knows? It would
Yeah,
be
I mean,
to back test it.
yeah. Essentially, I'm not really like for the short term, I would not be buying it until it got below 200, maybe like 198 down to 188, like I was showing before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And let me just pull up the log scale chart here. 1 second. And ultimately, the target is going to be here at 327, 330 up there, because when you zoom out, you can see how each level was respected perfectly here. This orange level, it got a little bit above, then came up to the blue level, came back and back tested it. So the green level is going to be next in the 330. So that could happen by maybe like August of 2026 or so. So there is some time for that to happen. And then, of course, the next level sits way up here at 6,000. So we're good to go.
I won't even bother showing my chart, but I'll just say my wave 3 top is 331.28. And I've got
Yeah,
an
that
August of it's drawn here, in August of 2026.
yeah, that is basically exactly what I have right here.
Yep.
Right now. August, or what is that? September or August of, yeah, 2026 at 3:30. That is more confluence right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, long term it's bullish AF, but short term short term I see it going back below 200 just because of the confluence of those
Yeah.
angles sloping down and the Bollinger Band and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
would I buy at 200? I mean, maybe the whales will front run everybody and 200 will hold. Who knows? But I think 190s or even like high 180s will get hit
Yeah.
before it continues higher.
The monthly conversion line is 192.14.
Well, let's find out. I have the monthly chart pulled up. You don't even have to ask me to switch it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 192.14. Yeah, so that's probably where I would buy, which kind of matches the previous all-time high range.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think that is the place to buy, and I would not be a buyer in this zone at all yet. But ultimately, yeah, it's going to go higher, but short term, it's probably going to consolidate more.
Yeah.
I'd say if the bear, I mean, if the bankers did front run 202.65 is my 618 support level for a wave 2, a shallow wave 2 retrace. But the 50% line is 187.47. So that could be that.
Yeah. So there's more confluence there.
A lot
I
of
think it's
chart. Go
what's
ahead.
up? I
No,
think it's
sorry.
really cool.
Yeah.
God.
No, a lot of charts are looking on the monthly, looking like a expanded flat kind of look to it over the last year. You know,
Oh yeah.
just like Apple is doing basically like almost like an expanded flat kind of thing before going up higher. So it's interesting. I think it's just been consolidating. It's just been waiting for like global liquidity to really kick in before it does its thing.
Well, 2023 burned a lot of people.
Yeah,
They're a little hesitant to come back in 2024.
yeah. So yeah, I don't have an Apple chart to show. I mean, I think we sped through a lot. It's been
Oh yeah.
quite productive tonight.
Yeah. It's been very productive. But yeah, I think it's really cool here that this level is matching Steve's level like perfectly.
Yeah,
You know, that's kind of cool. Like time and price. Like we don't
Time and
have that
price.
yeah, we don't have that situation too often, but time and price is pretty cool.
yeah. And the crazy thing, like Nvidia is going to keep going. The Magnificent Seven, like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they're all looking pretty decent. And then you have like the laggards, like Apple is catching up. Tesla's doing this thing, but looks like it might be flipping an arc, from resistance to support at some point.
Tesla
So
will make up for lost time.
yeah, so it's pretty interesting in terms of what and the thing is like the sentiment is not really like super bullish either. A lot of people are still having PTSD from 2022. So, same thing with Bitcoin. Like you just see like the fear and greed index for Bitcoin is like it's like 30 like fear. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's not even that far down from like the resistance. So the yeah, whatever chart you want to show. Oh, Rivian. You want to show Rivian? I'm interested in that one.
I don't know if I have anything pulled up just because it made recently all-time
You might not
lows.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah, just like whenever things keep making lower lows, the GAN doesn't really work. So
Gotcha.
honestly, I
Yeah.
believe what we can see here though is Rivian is busting above the conversion line. So could that be room to go up to the baseline? Yeah, it could 100% because that is a previous support flip to resistance zone right here, right? So
Yeah.
this target of maybe $15 is probably next. So that's a pretty good gain if people wanted to get into it, right? But is it going to break above that? Probably not. Like the trend is really bearish, right? It's just lower highs, lower lows all the time.
Yeah.
So you can't
So,
even pull up again because it doesn't really work that way.
so
Yeah.
the crazy thing is after hours, I think like there's something about like Volkswagen putting like $5 billion to buy them. So after hours actually went up like 50%. Right
yeah.
now.
Oh yes. Oh wow, 17.95. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's above that $15
yeah.
candle.
So it's like it's gone absolutely insane, you know.
Yeah.
But it's still a bearish thing. Like it goes up basically, even if it goes up, it'll probably end up getting rejected from stuff above. Like I don't know.
Well, let's see. Where's the next resistance on this then? Maybe up here in the 20s?
Yeah, 24 bucks.
That
Yeah.
20 bucks is going to be the weekly cloud. Um, so you might end up hitting resistance there, or you might end up getting rejected by the baseline whenever market opens, which is going to be around like 15
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we don't know
So
yet. But yeah, 20, well no, actually 24 bucks would be above the cloud here. So
yeah.
Oh,
that would
he
be
was
a
saying
really
20. I said 24, but I think Cat's probably right, more like 20.
Yeah, like 20 is going to be around where the cloud is, so that could be resistance, or
yeah.
you can end up waking above that, touch the cloud, and again end up like getting rejected all the way down to like the baseline. Um,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
yeah,
I've got a chart. I've got a chart for Rivian.
you do,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna bust in here with it.
yeah. And
Boom.
oh my,
Lifetime downtrend.
oh
Avoid.
my God,
Just
oh
don't.
my
Just
God.
don't. It's going bankrupt.
It's
This whole thing was a boondoggle from the get-go.
yeah,
I don't know who convinced Bezos to give him money or whatever, but with IPO price, the opening IPO price was this weird 106.75. I don't know if that means that everyone came in at like 100 and then they opened at $6.75 higher and then ran up to 179.47 and then just absolutely collapsed after that. It couldn't
yeah,
even hold 50% of its IPO, which is my cutoff for like this wick right here. That's about where it should have held and then started going up. And no, it just absolutely collapsed. Couldn't get any higher. And then just ever since then, never any higher than $41, $28, $25, and so on and so forth, $16. So, it wicks up to what, 1750 or something. We're still just down here. It's gonna hit major resistance trying to get, yeah, over $20, like you said. And it'll probably just fall over again.
yeah,
So need I say more? Lifetime downtrend. And look, you can see all the retails like 73% still
yeah.
on the weekly chart.
I can show some hopium for holders. I have
Okay.
some hopium here.
Respond.
And let me see. Let me kick you out. I haven't done this
Yeah,
before.
kick me out, kick me
Kick you
out.
out.
It works. Worked great.
Woo! Yes. So I do see some bullishness here. There are two things I want to show. One is, I mean, obviously you can have bullish divergence and price can still keep going down a lot further, bullish divergence, right? But if you are going to have a bottoming process, you would want to see some kind of bullish divergence happening before you have any hope. And Rivian has been going down nonstop on bullish divergence. This is a stock that has been like just been going through bullish divergence like it's nothing, right? It has been having bullish divergence already from 25, 26 bucks all the way down to like $8.50, right?
Yep.
Because the RSI keeps on going up and then the price keeps on going down. Like all these are bullish divergences, right? So just to kind of show you, it might be going through a bottoming process because it does have a little bit of a rounded bottom to look to it on the lock scale, and it
Mm.
does look like RSI is trying to, hold steady around these like crazy low levels around the 30s. So it does look like it's trying to form a bottoming process. So if you want like some hopium for Rivian, it's not like some of the other stocks. Like some of the other stocks you're talking about, they really are going bankrupt. There's like no bullish divergence at all. They just keep on plummeting, plummeting. Rivian,
What's the market cap on MicroStrategy?
I'm not sure.
Here's the Rivian success plan. They should just take that 5 billion from Volkswagen and buy Bitcoin.
You're not wrong. I mean, that could be like pretty much all companies'
Just stop.
strategies too.
We're not making cars anymore. We're just buying Bitcoin. We're just
Yeah.
gonna sit on it.
But you also have like Amazon is not a small thing, right? Like if they continue to be good institutional holder, I think that's probably why you end up having kind of like maybe a little bit of bottoming process because the institutions they are setting some kind of floor price, and like Volkswagen buying into, like you have institutions that are interested in investing in Rivian. Like you said, I can't talk about the fundamentals. I'm just looking at the chart here. There are some bullish divergences here. Another thing to look at here is that there is an RSI trend line over here that looks like it's going to get broken tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, like it looks like RSI is like around 48. If it gets above 50, it's bullish. So whether or not it hits like higher high, I don't know, right? It could still be a very good trade, and it could still hit like the resistance that we're showing like around 15 to 20, and it might end up getting rejected from there. It might back test that. It might keep on going down lower, you know. I don't know, but I can't say that based on looking at RSI. I know how much Matt loves RSI, but I can't say looking at the RSI that, you know, like this is not a bullish development. So
That's a joke, folks. Matt does not like the RSI.
that's no
I
joke. He
mean,
really doesn't like it.
I don't really care, right? Yeah, but people
Yeah.
do like it, so that means if more people like it, then it usually can happen, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be some algorithm that looks into it, you know. So and there's a pretty perfect RSI trend line. Like this is not, you know, so I think it's gonna break above. Another thing I want to show is
Wait,
also
I just want to point out this is why we love Cantonese Cat's technical analysis, because he finds all these amazing different ways of looking at a chart that not everyone thinks to, maybe I'll have one look at it and Matt will have another look at it, but Cat's he's got a whole bag of tricks. And it's
well, I mean,
quite
yeah,
wonderful.
if you want me to wear a bullish gargle, I can always find some kind of bullish indicator, you know.
Well, I don't even mean the bullishness per
Yeah.
se, but just the fact that you can see the RSI divergence and price divergence.
It's and then yeah, I've been looking at it, but I haven't really entered Rivian because it like I know price can go down a lot further even on bullish divergence, right? And if I have to invest in a company that is EV related, it's going to be Tesla. Like I'm not messing
Exactly.
with
There's like
Rivian.
better
Yeah.
charts out there than Rivian.
Right. Like I'm not messing with Rivian. So this is a Bollinger Band. You know, it's not surprising that it made a big move because it was squeezing on the weekly. You know, so it's not surprising it's going to hit up higher. I think the price currently, like after hours, like around 18. So it's going to be way outside of a Bollinger Band over here. It's going to be like GameStop. It's not sustainable. It's going to go back down to maybe like around 14 to 15.
And this
Um,
is pure conjecture, but it could just be a sell the news event anyway, because
yeah,
a lot of times these companies they they're talking about that there could be a deal. There's no deal. It's just there could be a deal with
yeah,
Volkswagen, a
it's
billion.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
And
true. Yeah.
Volkswagen
what
could
could
say
close a
that
week below
just to get a
15?
look at the books, and they look at Rivian. They took one look at Rivian's books and say, "Oh, this is trash. We're not doing this," and they cancel the deal, and the thing drops to $2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know for sure, but the bull market support band is starting to kind of flatten a little bit. This actually looks kind of like Tesla, doesn't it? You know, like it looks like it's trying to kind of go sideways up here. It's trying to repair this like inverted head and shoulder. That actually kind of look like Tesla, doesn't it? So
Except for the fact that Tesla, comes in from below,
yes,
from
yes,
the
that's
left
true.
side, and not from
That's not
above.
wrong. That's not wrong. You're correct about
Um,
that. So it's not a good comparison, but look at how similar those two are.
Oh, it's above the bull market support band, Tesla is now.
Tesla is, yeah. Tesla actually
Yeah.
got back above the bar support band this week. And I can see it totally going to like 200, go back down, you know, to 180s and then go up higher potentially, or it can just keep going sideways.
Lots of confluence of going higher, Steve. I don't know.
no, well, no, it could go to 200,
Yeah.
double,
Yeah.
double
Even,
top.
even
Because last time
Ruby
it went
might
to
go higher,
190,
Steve. Yeah.
and then run down to 150, and then go back up again. And actually, much of my followers are really hoping for that,
Yeah.
because I've talked about that. It could run up, then run down,
Yeah.
then absolutely explode up from there.
Yeah. I mean, like all this stuff is possible. Somebody asked you about Adobe.
Oh
I
yeah,
just,
I got.
yeah, I just wanted to
Go
show
ahead.
real quick, like on the monthly Ichimoku cloud. Matt, this is why I love the monthly Ichimoku cloud.
Oh yeah, it looks
Yeah,
gorgeous.
like look at how gorgeous this is. Like it basically just went up, back tested the cloud, went up higher, got like 4 weeks above, couldn't get any higher, train got exhausted, back tested the top of the cloud, broke down the cloud, tested the bottom of the cloud, found support, bounced up, engulfed two candles over here, and got rejected so far at the conversion. Like this is
I got some confluence of why of that bottom of the cloud with my Gantt chart too of Adobe as
kick
well.
me up, kick me up.
I'll kick you out.
Please kick me out. I'm gonna be kicked out.
Kicking you out, son. All right, so let's just first start from the beginning back here in 86, and we can just see the levels, how it's nailing the levels perfectly here.
Wow.
The orange and the blue got rejected in 1995.
Wow.
And then what do you know? The .com bust. Oh, it just back tested exactly. Oh, I got to turn off my magnet. I hate that thing sometimes. Yeah, all
If you hold the
what
control
.com did.
key, you can toggle the magnet on and off.
Whatever. You're just more spiffy than I am, huh?
That's an adjective. Yeah.
But yeah, you can see the top right here was the arc for Adobe and the .com bust, and then it just basically back tested the blue level where it was once resistance, then now it's support. And then once again here, the 2008 crisis, it just back tested the arc, went a little bit below, and then went up to the green level where it tested as support. So you can see each level was respected perfectly. And where does that lead us right now? Boom, right at that level, right? So
Gorgeous.
essentially, that is matching your top of the cloud
Yeah,
for
gorgeous.
monthly chart.
Wow.
Right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can just see how it went back down here in 2022 to test the bottom of the arc, and then it did like what Tesla is trying to do right here. Like, see, many weeks it tried to break the top of the arc, and then it finally flipped it a couple of times to support, then back up to the line, then went back to double top and test it again. So I could see Tesla doing something similar to this exactly.
Yeah.
And essentially, who knows if it'll be this long for it to break above the green or the next level for Tesla. But this one, yeah, it looks like this is support now, and it could be pushing its way for higher and higher. But there's still going to be a lot of resistance for the previous all-time high back here in 2021. And before that, there's going to be more resistance here in the 600s right here with these levels as well. So is it going to go to the next level up here? Like, what's that, 2,900 or something? I don't know. Like, not anytime soon, but that is the direction it's heading, especially since this is looking like this level is flipped to support, right? And
all right, I'm busting in.
What's that?
I'm busting in. I got a chart.
Well, real quick. So if it did get to that 2,900 level, that would be what, 2030. So
yeah. Yeah.
Around that time.
Another thing in addition, you have the weekly chart is forming a nice bull flag. I mean, it's yeah.
Oh yeah.
It could go lower, but like honestly, I don't. It's gonna after its consolidation, it's probably gonna go higher. So I don't know how much lower it would go though in terms of the I can see it potentially going down to like 500. And already did. It had like a nice wick down to 500. It could potentially go down to a little bit lower to like your 0.618, which is like 487. I can see that. But yeah, I think Tracker is also probably going to show us the waves. So
this is why you can see it's not really breaking out. It's stuck into the 7-1, but also why it never tested the green line again too, because the 0.5 got in the way. Like it front ran that green line again. So this is just looking good for continuation higher and higher in the future. But yeah, you can hijack my screen.
Yeah, right, thank you, Kathy. Thanks.
Just like that. I was all ready.
What is that? Okay.
Transition. So look, it's a tracker's triangle right here.
Yeah.
We have this high back here. It's the all-time high was 690. I can't. Where are my things? I turn them off and on for different reasons. All right, high 699.54.
Yeah.
And then it got to this low of 274.73. And so it's just been riding in this range. And now we do have a nice, we've actually got the top trend line for the resistance trend and a support trend line down here. So if it wants to do the whole kit and caboodle, right, let's just get this out of the way for a second. If it wants to do the whole kit and caboodle, then maybe it will run up here, break that trend a couple times, then run down here and break this trend a couple times. And so that takes us to 634 and then 472. Or it could just be done. But
so the correction would be the bottom of the triangle would be around
this is where I'll probably pick it up from right here. to, actually, wait, no, I need to pick it up from down here. Let's go back to the pandemic low. There. Oh, wait, not that tool.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pandemic low and
Nice. Yeah.
all-time high.
Yeah.
I like the nice the shading colors in this
Very
one.
nice. Yeah.
And then here's your wave to bottom. 274, 73. I'm missing it a little bit. Oh wait, no.
So I can see it. I can see it hitting back in like the
Oh,
470 range. You know, at the
yeah. Well,
yeah.
it already did. Oh, wait a second. This is so hard to read. It's yellow. There we go. It's a little better. Yeah, it already got a 764 and then a 382, and that's exactly what I look for these. This is really nice actually. So off of the wave start and the wave one, wave two, your wave three sub one is the 764. Test back down to the 382, which it just got a little higher than the 764 and a little lower than 382. Next, we have the 1382 to the 100 to the 2382. So here is the future of Adobe, ladies and gentlemen.
We have another Kathy Woods here.
It's elite again. 1336, the elite number. That's from those elite gamers. All right, there's my Adobe chart. And
Yeah, it's kind of insane how it's been like 3-4 years and still haven't made another all-time high. But yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to cross through the Ichimoku cloud right there. Here it does on the monthly.
Man, your lagging span is like super thick, so it's confusing.
I did it because I want to be able to see it. It's like my
Yeah.
stand, I'm under it. But Matsby's lesson on the Ichimoku cloud.
Yeah.
I never really paid attention to the lagging span. I have it turned off in my default charts when I click on this one.
Yeah.
I just want to look at the clouds here. I don't even use the conversion. I didn't use it.
I know Cat doesn't like the lagging span though, do you?
Yeah, because it takes more than one site. I mean, like you have to think more about it.
Yeah,
but sometimes it gives you a clue of possible direction too, you know?
It does, yeah. If the price is, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's almost like the volume weighted average price kind of thing. Like you can kind of see if the price is above or below. Like I guess I can see that, but yeah, anyway, yeah.
Here's my decadal anchored VWAP. These are always fun to look at. Okay. So here's the cloud of possibility, and it went above it, then it was way above it, way below it, above it, didn't go below it, went right to the center line. This purple line right here.
Yeah.
This one here. But right here, 455.99. It's almost the 382. It just kind of went just below that. Yeah, this one's anchored off the decade 2020. Anyway, that's all I got to say about Adobe. Was there another one?
No, I think people were just saying how funny we are. And
Oh yeah, we're always try to be a little funny, you know. Not funny looking.
Maybe.
I love the new line drawings that you did today of everybody. Those are great.
Oh, the drawings that I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Jess's reactions.
Well, I was bored at work. They take me like 5 minutes to do each. You know, I just did it between.
You should always do. All your drawings should be 5 minutes or less. It just has a great style to them that way.
You should start a subscription service where people request a picture of them and then you do it.
Oh my God, he'll be spending all his time drawing pictures instead of doing TA.
I don't want carpal tunnel. I'm good. Yeah. No, I mean, I think just going through like the I guess the summary of the whole show is buy Rivian. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
Yeah,
actually.
do not.
A lot of things are at key resistance. Tesla is, Bitcoin is, looks like a lot of miners are breaking out before Bitcoin broke out, which is interesting. Yeah, and a lot of the large cap stocks like Adobe is looking decent, Apple's looking decent. Um, I guess that yeah, NVIDIA looks like it just wants to keep going. I mean that's kind of the moral of the story, right?
There's a question:
So
if we have limited funds, NVIDIA or Apple?
Ooh. I,
Nvidia.
I don't know. I never really like Apple all that much, to be honest.
Steve Cook, yeah, he's an ass.
Yeah, like Tim is not he's not anyway.
I mean, yes, Tim Cook,
Apple's not, they're
Steve
not
Cook.
inventing AI. They're just buying other people's AI. They're buying open
Yeah, yeah,
AI. They're
Yeah,
just bolting on stuff.
Tim Cook.
and there's really no proof that they've been like innovating. I mean, like we're kind of talking about from a fundamental sense, right? Like, there's no proof that they're really truly innovating anymore. The last thing they're trying to innovate, like the last two things they're trying to innovate, or wasting money on innovating. One is the metaverse, with the goggles, things like that. The Vision Pro, and they're like recalling it. They're trying to come up with like a cheaper price. So they're not, they're not doing very well on that front. And the second thing, they try and do like EV, and they're wasting like a lot of money on it, and that ends up
Oh,
being a bust. So I
Apple
don't know, like, and the Apple chart, I think it's probably gonna end up keep going higher, but I would rather put my money on Nvidia just because I see a higher runway, the growth. Like, we're talking about fundamentals, right? I mean, you're talking about like the top line, bottom line keeps on growing, and the forward PE, it just looks like cheap compared to Apple, even if they're like relatively comparable. It's just like Nvidia's just got a lot more forward growth along with it, whereas Apple, yeah, you talk about like an iPhone coming up next year is probably going to do okay. Is a cyclical stock, so Apple's probably going to end up doing pretty decent, especially if China bounce back. But like if I have to buy between the two, I'd probably end up choosing Nvidia just because they're like the backbone of the AI, revolution. The party will temporarily end, and we will have a pretty nasty correction because of liquidity cycle. But I just don't know, if I would want to buy into Apple. I'm just not that interested in it. So
Yeah,
that's my
I
rant.
I like NVIDIA better, especially if both were to drop down to the levels that I like. I would still prefer NVIDIA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Oh, we have
also
a question about Enphase.
Enphase. Yeah, your favorite stock.
Oh, it's doing exactly what I expected, really. I thought it was gonna hold levels higher than that though, but it never did. But like, look at what happened with this symmetry on linear scale. So essentially, each level is really important. Orange, blue, green, right? They're all important here. This blue angle resistance and essentially this orange level. With all these downgrades recently, they just right back to support. It is going a little bit below support now, but if you use the GAN box here, I'll show you right here. We'll take this off.
unbox me.
So yeah, you can just see
Ooh,
exactly the GAN
yeah,
box is telling the story, right? It's
yeah.
saying like this angle right here was a support, then it lost it, and then this one was a support, lost it. But this downward sloping angle here, you can see it was important in the past, especially that wick right here. So that could be the target now, around 99 or 100. So I think no matter what, it's still making higher lows too. And when you go to another scale here, or not another scale, yeah, it's still linear scale, but it's on a different scale. Let's see here.
By the way, while you're changing, the lower Bollinger Band on the weekly is 99.87.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and that is more confluence there. But also on this scale here, my blue angle is also right here, like 98, 99, right? So,
yeah.
and this is the monthly chart. But one thing I really wanted to point out is why I thought it was going to hold certain levels is the Ichimoku on the monthly chart, the conversion line, right? I thought 107.56 would have been like the low, but it still can be for the month, right?
Yeah.
There's still like the end of the month, so we could see price go back up and close back above this monthly conversion line right here in like the 107 or the 108. So there's still a few more days left in the month and the week. And yeah, I could see probably maybe tomorrow go test 99, go test 100, whatever, like scare more people. But it's just doing exactly what it has been doing the whole time, and that is just ranging. And when we go to the weekly chart of this right here, it tried to break into the cloud, and I thought it was going to hold right here in like the 120s first, but just that $4 downgrade from JP Morgan sent it 14% lower. And then now what? There's like a sell target or something of like a $45 target that some analysts, like, it's funny, like they just pile them on just to get it back down to support. And then once support is reached, like, oh, forget about that news, guys. Who cares?
I
But
wanted to go ahead.
yeah, no, I just think like it's just doing exactly what it should, except for it broke this level where I thought it could hold finally and break a little bit higher. But honestly, it's still just in between a range, and it's getting really close to the 100 level, which I think is a really good risk reward for Enphase. So that's all.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's trying to break into the cloud. Like the fact that it's trying, the more it tries, the more it's probably going to end up breaking. It's got pretty decent support down below.
Yeah, and the cloud is getting really thin too in the future. So that's a good positive thing. But yeah, I think anything in the high 90s, low 100s where it's at now is a great risk reward opportunity for Enphase.
I have a very special request. Well, first of all, this looks really similar to Tesla, by the way, the morphology of it. But I do have this very weird request for you. It's a 2-month chart. You don't even need any indicators. If you just put up a 2-month chart, because the end of June is going to be the end of the 2-month candle. Can you even pull it up? You have that?
Oh yeah.
2M. It'll do 2 months.
Oh yeah, 2M. Yeah.
I am so confusing, Euro, and I love it.
I've never used the 2M.
I want you to look at this chart right here on the last on the 4 candles. What does it look like to you? It looks like rising 3, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's right along the arc,
And
so it's consolidated.
2 days left or 3 days
I
left for
know.
the month to end. So yeah,
I know.
it's looking really good. So what? Yeah, we could get a small little wick down to later on, like maybe tomorrow or Thursday during the week to finally double tap that blue angle again, because you can see how important it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, any more fear, any more selling pressure tomorrow or on Thursday, I think that's a pretty good buying opportunity in my opinion, because it's just a matter of time before this support holds and it busts through the arc and to the next level above into the 150s, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which could be the target for the rising 3. For those people who are not familiar with the rising 3, you basically have like a big green candle, and then the bulls are like basically taking a break, and then they're going to let the bears to see what they can do over the next 3 periods. And if the bears are not able to break break the candle or get underneath of it, the bulls sniff out a lot of weakness, and they just take over. So
yeah. But it's just so funny, like how the news lines up with the charts. Like, yeah, here it was so great, but then this candle was a really weak weekly candle close, and then all the downgrades happened.
Yeah.
It's like it's so convenient, right? So convenient, and now it's like all the max fear is coming around right around support, which is just it just always happens. It gets retail to sell support. It really does. That's all it does. Yeah, there's a question about whales and Enphase. I don't have that MCDX. Do you guys have that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, if you want to just share your screen before we go, we can do that.
I'm busting in.
Meow 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 meow.
Weekly, monthly. The whales really propped it up in May, and then in June they just like receded into the bushes like Homer Simpson, and let the retail just sell it off right here.
Still 50% though. The whale's still close to 50%.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. 44 retail, 50%. Tankers and whales. And we haven't really talked about it on this show, but I talk about it on my show all the time. The reason why all these energy stocks are doing so well, something's got to power all those AI, all those GPUs researching the artificial generalized intelligence and artificial superintelligence, plus all that Bitcoin processing and stuff. But we need more energy storage and greener energy. And so all these different energy stocks that are like the next wave of energy are starting to blow up now. Like I had this EOSE chart here earlier. They're just this little company. They just make batteries, but they make long-term storage batteries that can hold electricity up to 8 hours. So basically enough to hold energy overnight in a large sessile, stationary containment facility. So instead of just like having to blow up all this, you've got the energy grid, how much people use during the day, but then during peak hours, they have to turn on these peak generators. They're really inefficient, and you're having to bring on like, an extra 100 megawatts or whatever, just to get that extra 10 megawatts that the grid needs. But now you can have battery storage that stores that all that extra energy that isn't being used, and then they can use that later through the night or the next day during peak energy again. So anyway,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
these
one of those-
stocks are not really going, they're not really going away. And it's just, yeah, there's just fear right now because of some of these downgrades for Enphase and whatever, but things are still trending in the right direction. So I think that's the bottom line. Just ignore the news and pay attention to the charts.
Yep. My Enphase chart goes to 144.07, test back to 118.79,
Yeah.
up to 184.95, back to 159.68, and then this first set of 5 impulsive waves tops out at 251.11. A little bit of consolidation, and then that becomes the next larger 1-2.
It's like a trail walking up a mountain. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
looks good.
The switchbacks.
No, I think we're good to go. It's been 2 hours now, so.
Yeah.
That was an epic show.
Yeah, that was fun.
Burned
a
through
lot.
some stuff.
Yeah, except for the coughs, that I had before. I'm sorry about that. I thought I muted myself, but I guess I didn't.
No, you should get better at that. No.
Sorry, honey. I'll get better. I'm sorry. That was just something I'm used to saying. So, yeah, I'll change.
You've been trained. Yes, you've been trained.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, and
All right, thanks, guys.
you all have a wonderful night.
Yeah, thank you guys for spending your evening with us. It's always a pleasure for us to do these shows for you, and we'll be back again next week. I believe we're planning. Do we know for sure Tuesday next week, or do you want to?
I don't know. Like, I think actually Tuesday might be good because is it like July 4th on Thursday?
Yeah, not July 4th.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna listen to on July 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday's good.
Yeah, let's do Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week, guys. Thank you guys so much. And again, all these charts that you see us kind of fly through on the YouTube video, you can see the static versions of them if you just go to our individual web pages.
Agreed.
On individual X accounts.
Yes. Yes. Without the jokes, but that's okay. Yeah.
Well,
There's still some jokes there.
There's still some horny jokes in there.
Yeah. Hey, good night, Matt. Good night, Kat.
All right. Good morning to me. Yes. All right.
Yeah. Have a good day.
All right. Yes, we'll do.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Yep.
All right,
bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.